haven't turned up for their first rides. So we've had 4 heats already, and this helicopter here is bringing, would you believe, Hans Nielsen, Kelvin Tatum and Tony Rickardson. They've missed their first rides, and they've brought some new wheels with them as well. This, of course, could have a pretty serious effect. Now, Heat 5. And you can see that Lars Gunnestad of Norway, the local boy, has got 3 points. That means he won his first ride. That's him in the red helmet colour. He will line up on the inside. Tor Helm, a local man from Norway, in the blue helmet colour. Zoltan Haidu, he is Hungarian, in the white helmet colour. And on the outside in yellow and black, the sole German competitor in this event, Klaus Lausch. 4 laps of this track, as usual in Speedway, although this is a very tight, sub 300 metre length track. Blast off, and from the inside, Gunnestad, the local man, has the drop. Has he? Ooh, squeezed there, squeezed heavily. That's Lausch drifting wide. Gunnestad comes through. The German relegated to second. Lars Gunnestad, who won his first ride, don't forget, looking to keep the maximum going with 3 points from this, his second ride. Lausch looks up the inside, thinks better of it. The Norwegian Helm in the blue helmet colour is running in third. Haidu of Hungary in fourth. But this does look, as the yellow and black last lap flag comes out, as if Lars Gunnestad has this sewn up. Lovely shot there of a Speedway rider at work. Look at that rear tyre distorting under the loads of cornering on this short, very tight track. A win and a wheelie. Lars Gunnestad keeps his maximum going. 3 points for that race, 3 points for his first race, a maximum of 6 for the local man, and a good wheelie to celebrate. In the next heat, Heat 6, as we look at a replay of Gunnestad's winning style, look at the right leg, taking all the forces from cornering there. Heat 6, Rickardson of Sweden, a latecomer. Obviously, he has no points, and the reserve is not in for this race. Just 3 riders. As Rickardson looks for the front. Holds a tight line inside Kasparak, the Polish rider. Oh, and it's a fight. The Polish guy is looking around the outside. That's the tradition of Eastern Bloc Speedway riders, looking for the long way round. But it looks as if Tony Rickardson of Sweden has got this under control. He has a very theatrical style, doesn't he? Having talked about the right leg taking all the cornering forces in Speedway, he's turning the rule book upside down here, taking it on his left foot. Look, foot out of the stirrup. Very odd style for a Speedway rider, but very effective. Despite that late arrival by helicopter, Tony Rickardson looks like opening his account with a win. If you're used to watching motorcycle road racing, you'd say that's Randy Mamela style. Kasparak gets the third place, the Polish rider. And the reserve, the Norwegian Pettersen, Odd Pettersen, picks up a point for third place. Number 14 is the winner of Heat 6, Tony Rickardson. Heat 7, Castagna of Italy with a win. Starotzin of the Soviet Union with a win. These are the 2 men to watch. Castagna there in red helmet colour. That means he starts from the inside grid. This is Antonin Kasper of Czechoslovakia in blue. Mikhail Starotzin of the Soviet Union with a win under his belt. He starts in right. And Odd Pettersen out again. Yellow and black. Outside grid start. Oh, and Pettersen just jumps the start. Lovely Zook. Will he get anywhere? No, he's squeezed to the back. The fast starting local lad is squeezed out as it looks as if Kasparov in blue, has he, or Starotzin in white? We have a race here. We have a race. Czechoslovakia versus the Soviet Union at the front of Heat 7. It's Antonin Kasper in blue, appears to have Starotzin under control. It looks like Castagna, the Italian, thinking about mounting a challenge from that third place position. Castagna, who started with a win in his first heat, helped by the late arrival of certain participants. But Antonin Kasper of Czechoslovakia is heading for a win to add to his 2 points from the first race. That was Heat 7. Antonin Kasper moves to within a point of the leader, Lars Gunnestedt of Norway. And that looks like Starotzin in replay there, getting the mother and father of cross-ups. We'll be back with the rest of this meeting. Welcome back for Heat 8 of the Champions Cup from Elgane in Norway. It is the first chance to look at this man, Hans Nielsen of Denmark. Possibly the best rider Denmark has ever produced, and I'm including in that argument the great Ole Olsen. Next to him, Gregor Pintar of Yugoslavia, who you just saw there. He's also got Kelvin Tatum and Kjell Sola, a reserve in this heat. This is also the first chance to see Kelvin Tatum, the British rider, still, I believe, carrying the bruises from a crash at a British meeting in the not-too-distant past. So, Nielsen in red, Tatum in blue, should be the men to watch in this heat. Blast off. Tatum in blue hits the front, Nielsen in red, holding a very tight inside line right on the rear wheel of the Englishman. This is going to be... Whoa, Tatum pulled a wheelie there, too much traction coming out of the corner. Speedway's all about traction, and Nielsen, to me, is sizing up Tatum. Kelvin Tatum's style a little more ragged, as you can see. I suspect he is not as comfortable as he might be because of bruising, as Nielsen looks round the outside. That's a brave move on this tight little Elgane track, and again Nielsen looks at the outside. Is he fainting? Will he try the inside? No, he will not. Right round the outside. Oh, that was class. That was sheer class from Hans Nielsen. He was working that out for the past couple of laps. Hans Nielsen opens his account with a win. Kelvin Tatum, another latecomer, opens his account with second place. Hans Nielsen has won. Here is the final overtaking manoeuvre from the inside of the track. Tatum having a bit of a wrestling match with his bike as Nielsen, feet up, blasts round the outside with full body lean. So Gunnestedt has 6 points, Starotzin 5, and Kasper of Czechoslovakia 5. They are the top 3 as we go into the third round of rides. That's the rest of the field, and that is the pits. Speedway bikes, 500cc, single cylinder, 4 strokes. As we look at Heat 12, Lars Gunnestedt, he has 2 wins from 2 starts. He's got Hans Nielsen in blue to fight this time. Zenon Kasparak of Poland has white, and Mikhail Starotzin has the yellow and black helmet colour. This is a heat full of top contenders. This will give us a pointer to the rest of the meeting, I feel. So, Gunnestedt unbeaten, and so is Nielsen. Gunnestedt in red, Nielsen in blue. Nielsen, a hectic first bend for Hans Nielsen, but he has the lead from Lars Gunnestedt, the local man. Yellow and black in third place is the Russian, the Soviet, Starotzin. Starotzin currently lying in second place with a win in the second place. I think he can wave goodbye to that now. And Hans Nielsen isn't hanging around to have a look at Gunnestedt, is he? He has gone from the flag, and he has gone. He even has time to look back. And on this tight little track, he doesn't have time to get the bike straight at all. The thing is crossed up permanently. Hans Nielsen, who has won World Championships in solo, pairs and team categories, heads on to the last lap of Heat 12, looking to add a second win to his tally for the day. But I must remind you again that that late arrival by helicopter meant he missed his opening ride. Wheelie! And crossed up as well. Gunnestedt takes second place. So, Nielsen moves to 6 points. Gunnestedt moves to 8 points. And Starotzin gets the 1 point for third. He moves to 6 points as well. That is Nielsen's victory wheelie, rather cheekily started a few metres before the flag and crossed up as well. Now this is the style of a world champion. Machine control at its finest from Hans Nielsen of Denmark. And he doesn't even have the decency to look vaguely tired out, does he? Just chatting amicably with his mechanic there. You see the helmet colours that are elasticated. They should hang on to the helmet for the entire race. It doesn't always happen. Confirmation of the standings. Gunnestedt leads with 8. Kasper of Czechoslovakia right there with him on equal points. And the surprise of the meeting, Armando Castagna of Italy holds third place. He benefited slightly, we should say, from the late arrivals, but that's racing. Pettersson, the reserve, is in again for this Heat 14. He has Gunnestedt beside him in blue, then Kelvin Tatum in white, and the Italian Castagna, there's Kelvin Tatum, the Englishman, Castagna of Italy. And it's not every day you see a class Italian speedway rider, I must say. Look for Gunnestedt in blue. Whoa, and it's the Italian who comes flying round the outside. But a bit too far. Tatum takes up the lead. Kelvin Tatum in white. The Italian goes wide, and through comes Tatum. Still Kelvin Tatum holds the lead. Under challenge now. Seriously under challenge. Looks like Gunnestedt. Looks like another win for Gunnestedt. Last lap flag for Lars Gunnestedt of Norway, as Kelvin Tatum is challenged now by Armando Castagna for third place. Can he hold him off? That's the race on the track, the race between Tatum and the Italian. Tatum has to correct, and oh dear, yes, Armando Castagna gets second place. Tatum relegated to third on the last corner of Heat 14. And a big wheelie from the local man. He is got to be looking good for, well, to put it mildly, a rostrum spot. He's been beaten by Nielsen, which was only to be expected, so he's only one off a maximum. That looks like the favourite. Now, that's Tatum on the outside. Gunnestedt on the inside. The manoeuvre where the local man took the lead. Looking up the inside, he has the line, and he just pushes, and he's through Kelvin Tatum and into the lead and heading for another win. Very good speedway from Lars Gunnestedt. There he is. He's the leader. We'll be back in a moment with the rest of the Champions Cup here on Eurosport. Welcome back to Heat 16. The interest in this race should centre on the outside of the track with Hans Nielsen and Kasper of Czechoslovakia. But in red, it's Lausch of West Germany. Next to him, Heinrich Schatzer, the Austrian rider. Here is Hans Nielsen. 2 wins from his 2 rides, but don't forget, 0 points from his no-show in the first heat. And on the outside, Antonin Kasper of Czechoslovakia, who is, by my sums, second in the standings at the moment. The race should be between the two riders in the outside grids. Nielsen in the white helmet colour, Casper in the yellow and black helmet colour. Ooh, slightly messy start. Casper in yellow gets the whole shot. He's on the outside line. Nielsen is on the inside line. Nielsen goes out wide. Oh, the Austrian, I think the Austrian got hooked up there. That looked like a fall for Schatzer, the Austrian. As Casper leads. Oh, no, red lights. The referee has stopped heat 16. It'll be a rerun, and I would expect Herr Schatzer of Austria to be excluded from that. He's okay though. He's taken a pretty heavy tumble there into the safety fence. Heinrich Schatzer of Austria, but I'm glad to say he appears to be up and walking under his own steam. As we suspected, the blue helmet colour is excluded from the rerun, so it's Lausch, Nielsen and Casper in the rerun of heat 16. And Nielsen in white on the inside, Casper in yellow and black on the outside. Casper looking for drive, dives down the inside. Nielsen holds him out. Hans Nielsen has the front. Antonin Casper. Can he find a way past this maestro of the speedway track? Antonin Casper looking for a rostrum position here. He will not let Nielsen have this without a fight, and indeed he is right on his tail. But on a tight little track like this, passing is very, very difficult indeed. He really needs Hans Nielsen to make some sort of mistake. And I would not bet on Hans Nielsen making a mistake in any form of speedway. The last lap, Nielsen looks round, sees Casper still there. Lausch, the German, is tailed off in third place. He settled for his 1 point. And has Antonin Casper settled for 2 points for second. Nielsen locks up, Casper comes back at him, but by a machine's length, it's another win for Hans Nielsen. Casper second, Lausch home in third place. 3 out of 3 for Hans Nielsen. Here's the attack. Hans Nielsen in white in front there. The thing locks up on him. But he is imperturbable. He has a superb fluid style on a speedway bike. Antonin Casper fighting, but he couldn't catch this man. The Toyota boy, the Toyota kid, Hans Nielsen of Denmark. No, not too perturbed by that. Just brushing off the old body colour. So, Gunnestedt, as we thought, leads. Casper goes to within a point of him. Nielsen moves into third on 9 points. And Castagna, the Italian, is there with him. And so is Rickardson of Sweden. This is going to be rather a close finish. Heat 19. Lars Gunnestedt looking to add to his 11 points in what should, for him, be a fairly easy heat, especially as reruns have already taken Pintar and Schatzer out of the frame. He only has a local reserve, or he did only have a local reserve, Mr. Ergar, to fight against. It looks like he's broken down, looked like he broke a chain. So it's going to be exhibition stuff from Gunnestedt, and this indeed, in Heat 19, means that he takes the Champions Cup. So it's exhibition stuff. I thought so. Little wiggly, bit of a cross-up for the crowd. Lars Gunnestedt giving a demonstration, and he has to do his 4 laps. He has to cross that line to pick up his 3 points, which will give him the victory at this meeting. But, as we just saw after the last heats, that the fight for the rest of the rostrum positions is pretty intense. 1 lap to do, Lars Gunnestedt. I suspect this will be rather a popular victory with the home crowd. Will we get a wheelie? He looks around, no doubt slightly perplexed by the fact he has an empty track to play on. I thought we would. That's a good wheelie, Lars. Good stuff. Yes, they look suitably impressed. And this man knows he has won the Champions Cup here at Elgan in his home country of Norway. Although I don't expect that he thought he'd win it like that, with a solo ride to 3 points in Heat 19. We'd lost Schatzer and Pintar because of offences in the first heat, and Ergar broke down, so Heat 20. Now look at this. Haidu has 8, Rickardsson and the rest, Rickardsson, Castagna and Nielsen all have 9 points. What we're looking for here is the fight for third place, because Antonin Kaspar on 13 points, basically, I think, is safe in second. This is the race that decides the remaining rostrum position. Haidu, Rickardsson, Castagna and Nielsen from the outside. Nielsen dives across the three of them. Look, ooh, it hooked up a bit early on in there. And I think Castagna, no, Nielsen's got it all under control. But he's going to have to fight for this one. He's going to have to go for this. Castagna, the Italian in white, is after him. And Rickardsson, the Swede's back in third. Rickardsson attacking. Nielsen's got this one. Nielsen's going to get third place by the look of it. It's the fight. Whoa! Castagna picks up a bit too much drive. Rickardsson drives up the inside of him. He keeps... Whoa, he drifts wide. Castagna comes back. You're always playing the percentages in this game. Too much drive is as bad as too little, if it happens in the wrong place. But Rickardsson in blue is now through to second place. I think they've sorted themselves out. Nielsen is a street ahead, and that will give him 12 points and a quick bit of addition. Another cheeky wheelie tells me that'll give him third place. It'll give him a rostrum position. And how many times has someone come third having scored a maximum in all the rides he's taken, I wonder? Hans Nielsen of Denmark, who truly is the class of this field, and that's no offence to Lars Gunnestad, who has won. That's the victory wheelie from Hans Nielsen. But it's only good for third place overall. That's the first bend. Now, watch that bike slide. It locks, it goes to full lock. It tries to straighten up. He is in all sorts of trouble there. Most other riders I can think of would, at the very least, have lost a place or two. Most would have been in the safety fence, and there's confirmation. Gunnestad, as we saw earlier, has won. Antonin Kaspar of Czechoslovakia holds on to a very satisfactory second place. Nielsen gets on the rostrum in third place. There's Kelvin Tatum, folks, down in 8th place. He missed his first ride as well, don't forget. Yes, congratulations, Lars. The Champions Cup is yours. And he's a happy-looking lad, and why not? The home crowd is suitably impressed. This is Lars Gunnestad having a slightly bumpy ride there as Antonin Kaspar of Czechoslovakia shakes the hand of the victor, receives his trophy. Now, when did you last see a Czech motorcyclist wearing a ponytail? There's a first for you. And perhaps the biggest cheer will be reserved for the man who will take that third position. There he is, Hans Nielsen of Denmark. 12 points for Hans Nielsen, 1 less than Kaspar, but they came in 4 lots of 3, from 4 wins, missing his first ride through late arrival, lost him the chance of victory or indeed of second place. So, maybes don't count. The victor in the Champions Cup is the man on top of the rostrum there, Lars Gunnestad.